Hi guys, I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough about how choices, even just one little choice, can create this much difference in somebody's life or this much of a mess. So I just broke it down into a few different scenarios, but I broke it down into a simple lunch choice decision and then a major one. All right, so in the first one, a group of coworkers go out to eat, and some of the coworkers want to eat pizza, and some of the coworkers want to eat hot dogs. And in this choice, to be honest, one person really wants to eat pizza, but there's only one other person that's going to eat pizza. And then you have all these other people over here that are kind of like maybe the more popular or the more catty ones that are all going over here, and you feel a little bit pressured, like you need to kind of go over here, but really, to be honest, you would like a little bit of a break, and you would honestly just enjoy pizza more. But even so, you head this way instead of the choice that you want. So that's your top one right there. I wrote it out actually earlier and did a whole thing, and then like the video messed up and didn't record. So I'm sad. But it's okay. So that's a simple one. Even right there alone, you all of a sudden go off path. All right, so we're going to go into a much more major one, okay? So let's just say in the next scenario, it's the same thing. You're with your coworkers, but the person over here, Henry, it's either sushi or it's Mexican food. You hate sushi. And you have all the catty girls again, they want to go do sushi, they want to go have drinks, they want to chat about what fucking, Nancy's been doing, and, you're just, like, super duper not into that. Another issue is that, to be honest, these girls, they don't really care for you that much. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you're not where they're at, there's a huge chance that they're going to talk shit about you, and this is something that everybody in the group, to be honest, fears. And so a lot of the members of this group, they all stick together because they are intimidated and they just don't stand for who they are as an individual. But you know what? This is something that you're like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care what they want. I don't even like these bitches. And you're like, I'm going over here and I'm literally fucking me. I'm going with Henry. You're like, I would rather have Mexican food, to be honest. You're like, you guys have fun. So you and Henry go over here and just the two of you go over and have Mexican food. As you expected, this group of fucking catty girls begins to now chat and spread rumors saying that you went with Henry for lunch. That's so weird. Blah, 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 blah. And so, of course, the rumors are going. Now, all of a sudden, Henry, to be honest, was off for the rest of the day. And you and Henry are just chatting up. You're having a great time. You're laughing. Next thing you know, it's getting a little bit later. And it's time to be back already. And, let's just say you have even a get out of freaking work free card. Let's just say that you have had perfect attendance, and as an award, your company hands out this card that says at any random time, because of your perfect attendance, you can call in and say, I would like to use my get out of work free card, and I'm going to use it today. You can have even the most perfect attendance. You do everything correct, and you call your boss, and he's like, yeah, sure, that's totally fine. Use your thing, no problem. So over here on your end, you've worked it out. Henry's off work, everything's fine. You're just bullshitting, honestly, about fucking really the plumbing downstairs or something. You just relate to Henry more. You got like that more masculine understanding energy, and you're truly just without a problem. Don't want to kick it with these girls. There's no judgment towards them except for when you have to look in their face and you want to throw up. But really, all in all, you're just honestly relieved. You're just having a great day. You've had a great year overall at work. Everything's great. Henry's awesome. Both of you guys have these really great families. You're exchanging lots of stories about your families. It's a great fucking... It goes into a lunch to fucking even, a little bit after. You're having a great time. For you... You have a really trusting partner. Let's just say you can totally go home and you're like, yeah, babe, that was such a great day. You tell them the whole truth. I chose to go to fucking Mexican food. I wasn't even about to eat sushi with those bitches, Your man or woman's totally fine with it. So for you, honestly, it was a great day of navigating. You did all the things that you would truly, authentically do. The only downfall, honestly, at the end of it, or throughout it, is just the thought of what all these gossipy girls over here are doing and saying, and all the drama that they're stirring up. They went back to work now, granted. At lunch, after lunch was over, you got all these chicks, now, that have all went back to work and chatted with whoever the fucking however large your business is. So you've taken that into consideration. You have a very healthy relationship with your husband or wife. You've expressed the true story. Everything's good as far as your tunnel of events goes, right? But you still have what these people over here have done and said about the whole thing, which normally you're like, I don't pay too much attention to that. If people want to gossip about me, you're like, that's their problem. But you do actually feel it, and you are affected about it. But, overall, you have this really strong, nice support system within yourself and your people and your family. Henry, though. Something you maybe didn't know about Henry, let's just say. Let's just say when Henry drinks, maybe he gets a little crazy. So while you're over here coming home at the end of the day, Henry made a promise to his wife months ago. He was not going to drink anymore. You don't know this because Henry to you looks really nice. He's really happy all the time. You would have never, ever, ever imagined Henry and his wife had, DV case or something like that. You also had no idea that maybe Henry even had a major addiction problem to alcohol or whatever it was that you guys went and used, which would be alcohol. So you're over here just Zing away. You're sleeping, thinking, everything was fine, Henry went home safe. These girls are always this way, it's going to be a typical day tomorrow. But when Henry gets home later than he was supposed to, because his wife knew so when you guys went to lunch, like we mentioned above, Henry was already off work then. He was actually supposed to only do a half day, and for a reason. Henry was supposed to be at their kids' baseball game. But Henry was at the restaurant because you guys asked him, do you want to go get lunch, Henry, and grab some drinks? Little did you know, Henry, while you were choosing to go have Mexican stuff with him, he made the wrong choice himself. So you guys thought you were going in the same direction, but you really weren't. Maybe you were both going to go eat Mexican food. But Henry was supposed to be going home. You were going to eat what food you wanted. Henry went and fucking had a drink. He never made it to the kids' game. So naturally, because of his choice, and because these people over here asked him, do you see where all these choices in these fucking things are intercepting now? All these fucking things are affected. Kids didn't have their dad home to watch the game. You and Henry think you and Henry had this fucking wonderful evening. Over here, his wife is blowing him up, and he knows this. He's ignoring her phone calls, underneath the table, smiling at you, having a conversation. You don't even fucking know. You also don't know that he's fucking on probation for fucking DV, and that he goes home and he rages on the family. Because ultimately, he feels shame that he has an alcohol addiction and continues to miss his kids' fucking baseball game. You don't know any of this. So what happens when he gets home? Because you guys, maybe let's just even say, you take an Uber. You're like, you know what, we've drank a little bit. Let's be safe about this. Let's get an Uber. So you're like, it's fine. I can get dropped off second. I want to make sure he gets home safe. You're in your mind doing what is the right thing the whole time. You're pure. You're genuine. But when Henry pulls up onto the fucking stop to his house, his wife is obviously watching out the window. She don't know who the fuck you are. Next thing you know, from her point of view, here comes Henry rolling in, dude. Looking the same as she's seen him before. You don't know that Henry cheats on his wife or has in the past. And it's when he drinks. And it's been causing a lot of issues in the family. And basically, to his wife through the window, you are just another one of the girls that he cheats on her with. Henry knows when he gets inside that it's going to be a game changer. And so as soon as he does, he switches fucking the whole scene. Henry and his wife fucking, let's just say they get in a fucking big fight. And she's had enough. She's like, no. She calls the police. And because he's on probation, he fucking gets locked up, dude. and he goes away to prison because maybe he was fucking told, you do this one more fucking time, you're going away for 1 to 2 years or something. You wake up the next day, it's a normal day for you. You get ready for work. You get there, and you find out Henry went to jail for beating up his wife because you and Henry were caught together cheating, according to her. You're a homewrecker, according to her. Just, she's going to be upset. She doesn't know who the fuck you are. And she only really knows to contact his boss. So she's going to call them. Maybe she's upset. Maybe she knows that they drink together and shit. And maybe she's like, I fucking told you. Now he's and maybe the boss is like, well, I'm not really sure. I know that they went with her Nancy and, Caroline, but I wasn't there. But I'm really sorry about that. Maybe he was innocently even just responding and saying, I am really sorry about that, Nancy. I'm going to try to get that taken care of, So next thing you know, she knows he wasn't even there. And fucking your name comes up for some reason first. So maybe she's just in a rage. She's not even thinking straight. And she fucking hears your name. So some women are going to flip the fuck out. Maybe she comes fucking down, and you know what? Next thing you know, all these people here. You have all the gossip girls now. Remember, they returned to work already, and they thought it was weird that you went with Henry alone in the first place. So long before even this fight broke out between his wife, these girls came back during this time of the day, yesterday, fucking all right here, and already said that shit. They already said that shit. Because that's what catty girls do. So now you got their rumors spreading rapidly. Your boss just so happened to mention your name. You were, to be honest, the only one with him because nobody else is going to be able to testify for you because you really honestly just went with Mexican food. You didn't make a choice out of anything crazy. You're just, next thing you know, you're standing in the middle of the scene where you got people saying you're fucking Henry. You guys got drunk together. You were seen in the Uber. His wife seen you get dropped off, and regardless of this strong system that you thought you had with your husband or wife when you got home, I mean, for you were able to come home and have a cup of tea and get it off your chest. But over here, raging fights, police, kids crying, wife losing her husband. Over here, toxic women spreading rumors and lies, dripping down on everybody that's innocent and honestly fragile, and they're soaking it up, wondering, would she do that? I don't really think so. I mean, in this time frame, this is where they're going to doubt or accept the information from the gossip girls. But then, as the night progresses and the morning comes, the girls and the staff that showed up early, and Henry was one of them that was always there early. You're just a non-timer. So by the time you arrive, everybody knows what's going on. And you walk in the door, and basically they can't help but just look at you. Because nobody, even not you, knows what's truly going on, because Henry always had a smile on his face and never told anybody that he was an alcoholic. And he was on probation and was not supposed to be drinking. But everybody invited you, all of you guys, out to a lunch break date. A lunch break date. So as simply as somebody walking into a room and saying, hey, who wants to go to lunch? Let's go. And then all of a sudden it going into a division of even the choice of where to go. These are actual outcomes of those things. And I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how the power of a choice is very strong. And how much power do you really have over your choices? And who has power over your choices? Who has power over you? And who do you have power over? Release both ends. And allow people to be authentic. Otherwise, major changes are made to universal energy and outcomes.